What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Lineman Life Live. I am your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. It's hump day. Welcome to the live stream. Woo, we got some more to go through today because it is getting even wilder. It's getting even wilder. Now, just a quick update. In the time since our last stream, a couple things have transpired. Personally, I've received some messages from our man, Joe Mamone. He wants an opportunity to come on to one of my live streams to talk about this situation. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, at this point, still in the fact gathering process, if you will. So we will continue to do our due diligence as we should before I allow somebody to just come on here and start, trying to spin something the way that they want to spin it. I'm not saying, again, like I said in the last stream, I'm not saying that guy necessarily has committed any kind of particular crime or anything like that as of yet. I'm not alleging any of that at this moment, but there is some more to go through. My guy Ben Koo sent me this link from awfulannouncing.com, and also been in communications with my guy Urinating Tree, what up? He also has found some pretty revealing things that we'll get into as well in this live stream. But do me a favor before we even get into this, make sure you have smacked that like button. Make sure you have signed up on that to be part of my new school that I'm starting. We're going to be the Chukwu Warriors, the ATL Chukwu Warriors. We're going to be a 9th grade to 12th grade high school football team, online only. We meet for classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure that if you want to be a part of my football team, you sign up right now. We're going to be on ESPN before you know it. Now, let's get into this article. Let's get into this article from awfulannouncing.com. Ben Koo's been doing a lot of work, a lot of digging into deeper into the layers of this story. And my goodness, I have not gone through a bit of this yet, but I'm sure it is going to be a doozy. So let's get this thing jumping. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Know you guys are ready for this. But it says here, Prep Gridiron Logistics, company behind Bishop Sycamore IMG game, detailed the whole mess on message boards. These message board posts from someone claiming affiliation with Prep Gridiron Logistics definitely add some layers to the Bishop Sycamore mess. As you see here, he's got his thumbnail up. He's got his thumbnail ready. And it's got all the players in here. Flow Sports, Prep Gridiron Logistics, Paragon, IMG, ESPN. And the money trail is all we need to follow. We'll figure it out. We'll do our sleuth work here. That is for damn sure. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. All right, let's get this thing started. Ben Koo, today, September 1st, 2021. We've done an extensive amount of reporting about Bishop Sycamore, the school that played on ESPN Sunday, despite a glaring amount of red flags about the school's origins, operational history, and mounting legal problems. While more information continues to come out about this insane story, one of the biggest questions we've been looking into is just how are these games booked and who benefits financially? Many of you who were in here in the last stream who listened to my call with Joe Mamone. That was one of the things that I tried to get at. Now, Joe will say that I catfished him. That's a comment he left in the comment sections on the video that I uploaded. But, you know, this was a necessary step that I took to try and get as much straightforward information as I could about what is the benefit, what is the purpose of him operating as the head of Prep Gridiron Logistics. What do you start a business for if it is not to at least have some sort of viable income to add to whatever you may already have? Also questioned what is his affiliation and where is the angle with live streaming licenses and streaming for TV in regards to Flow Sports. I'm sure that's something that obviously Ben Koo is going to get into in this as well. So there's still a lot of dots to be connected here, and I'm going to take you guys through it. And we'll use this article as our launch pad, and I'll give you guys my perspective as we go. A refresher from our earlier article: while most gravitated to this story because Bishop Sycamore ended up on ESPN, the network has been quick to point out that the games are booked by Paragon Marketing, a company that handles a large portfolio of high school events for ESPN. Paragon Marketing and their CEO, Rashid Ghazi, have increasingly owned the game's booking of late, seemingly in an effort to shield ESPN from blame to help preserve that business relationship. That makes a lot of sense. These guys are throwing themselves on the sword. Essentially, they're throwing themselves on the sword for ESPN because ESPN, for them, that's likely and quite certain their biggest contract, their biggest financial their biggest revenue maker in their entire business is likely coming from ESPN. So yes, they are going to take that bullet for ESPN, but that does not mean ESPN is void of responsibility in this by any stretch of the imagination. But let's continue. Despite Paragon owning a lot of the blame here, ultimately they say they're not responsible for booking the game. They say they merely decided to broadcast the game after it was scheduled. And they say that Prep Gridiron Logistics recommended Bishop Sycamore for that game. So, with those things, with those major bullet points being already discussed in my previous stream, let's continue on to the more recent information we got here. Again, big shout out to Ben Koo for this article. He's done a lot of work on it, and we appreciate him for that. Our article highlighted how PGL was ran by New Jersey native Joe Mamone, and that the company had announced a 4-year deal with streaming service Flow Sports earlier this year. Flow Sports would go on to tell us the following in light of the Bishop Sycamore IMG disaster. In light of recent developments regarding Bishop Sycamore, we have decided to pull their upcoming games from our programming schedule until questions concerning the integrity of the program are resolved. We have addressed our concern with Prep Gridiron Logistics, which licensed the games to us, and they have agreed to take necessary measures to avoid incidents like this in the future. So there is, in a single paragraph, the information that details that this is where his money is coming from. So that whole labor of love thing that he presented, slightly misleading because there is nothing free in the United States of America when we're talking about business enterprise, when we're talking about capitalism. There ain't nothing free. There's a labor of love at a cost. It always comes down to that. Always comes back to it. And here we have it from the people who would be lining his pockets themselves, Flow Sports. So, in that post, we cited a few message board posts made by Jersey Flyer, an account claiming Prep Gridiron Logistics affiliation, and one that seems likely to be operated by Mamone. He's got some burner accounts. AA has seen multiple documents suggesting this is Mamone, but hasn't been able to completely confirm that yet. Over the last 24 hours, AA has dug into the message board history of Jersey Flyer and was shocked to find hundreds of posts detailing his plans with Bishop Sycamore, his relationship with Flow Sports, how his business model works, and the contractual obligations the school had with PGL. Juicy. Juicy. Finger licking good. Finger licking good, Bob. Below, we will tell how this fiasco played out on yappy.com. You see, this is the thing. If you're going to run a scam, I mean, and look, I by no way, shape, or form am condoning running a scam. But if you're going to run a scam, that paper trail has got to be razor thin or non-existent at all. Message board is not where you go to air out your dirty laundry. But let's continue. Woo, okay. Below, we will tell a fiasco played out on yappy.com, which is a statewide high school football forum for the state of Ohio with high levels of engagement. It has more than 78,000 registered accounts on the site with posters from all corners of Ohio. Given this thread is public and we view the dozens of posters who tried to stop this embarrassment from happening as message board heroes, an extreme rarity in society today. Yeah, these guys, I mean, you know, I said it in the last stream that these guys really did. They really did scream from the mountaintops that this shit was really flaky. And of course, you know, hindsight is 2020. And posters are posting with aliases. We've included their posting name in the screenshots, but will gladly remove them if individuals reach out. Get comfortable, as this is certainly a wild ride to which I'll mainly just be your tour guide. Note that we realize these screen grabs are not great on the eyes, and we will be replacing them shortly with better versions. The thread is titled Bishop Sycamore head coach Roy Johnson accuses Dublin Kaufman Pickerington Central of recruiting. The video, which universally gets denounced given the known history of Roy Johnson, is now deleted. After 22 posts on the subject, Jersey Flyer posts for the first time in the thread. Let's get started. All right, so I'm going to click on these things. I'm sure you guys will likely not be able to see them, but I will do my best to read them out in a consistent fashion, so we know what's going on here. So. And maybe I should do these. You know what? Let me put them in their own. Let me put them in their own. Let me put them in their own tabs so that we can have a better look. See here now. Oh wait, that one is not even easy to read. Let's see. Okay, so I got it at 250% zoom. So maybe you guys can see that, maybe you can't, but either way, I'll start running through this. So this is August 9th, the 64th post in the thread, Jersey Flyer, in their first interaction, quoting, COF Academy was started by Leroy Johnson Jr., and he is continuing the scam as Bishop Sycamore to this day. His response, I've never met a person by that name associated with Bishop Sycamore. Riddle me this, Sherlock. If the team is a scam, how and why are highly ranked, blue-blooded high school football programs like Hoban, IMG, Duncanville, Texas, all of which have canceled their games with Bishop Sycamore, St. Edward, DeMatha, MD, Liberty, Nevada, St. Francis, Maryland, etc., scheduling them. Additionally, why would ESPN showcase a scam team on national television? Sounds like we got some projecting going on here, guys. That was his first interaction. Questioning, how could you possibly think this is a scam? How? Not long after, Johnson's legal issues are pointed out to Jersey Flyer. And here was his response. Let's see here. Jersey Flyer said, and we're grateful for this. P.S. Hoban had their choice of either Sycamore or St. Francis MD in game one. They went with the perceived guaranteed win. Okay. Nothing perceived about it. LOL. Lol. Hoban will beat Sycamore with JV players. Also, just making sure you saw my other post, Leroy Johnson is Roy Johnson, the dude who made the video that started this thread. And he has been found guilty in court of fraudulent use of loans related to COF Academy, which preceded Bishop Sycamore, and has even more lawsuits pending for similar charges, including forgery. Okay. Things are starting to get juice. We're just starting to see all this info just start to fall out. We just gonna follow the breadcrumbs, y'all. Follow the breadcrumbs. The reaction to learning about Johnson's legal history is certainly something. It's not a lie to say Roy Johnson has been found guilty in court of taking out a loan for fraudulent purposes and then not repaying it. It's all public record. It's also not a lie to say he has even more lawsuits pending for fraud, forgery, and failure to repay loans. As long as he doesn't punch an opposing player during the game, I'm good, says Jersey Flyer. Okay. All right. That doesn't sound like somebody who is particularly concerned about the legality of the people that he's dealing with and their ventures and whether or not he should be associating himself with them. But it is a labor of love. It is a labor of love. Let's not forget that. Labor of love. But maybe authorities will care in the very progressive state of Ohio. Let's see here. Next one up. This is Red Hawk, who he's quoting. Red Hawk says domestic violence and assault, driving without a license, criminal trespass, domestic violence and assault again. All misdemeanors, plus an eviction complaint from the apartments that the team stayed at last year. Like the guy doesn't have enough problems, then his school wrecks his credit. Quote unquote school. It's a shame that progressive AGs all around the country could give two shits about the above. Thank God above that we live in a great, caring society that loves giving second, third, and fourth chances to those in need. High school football is a mirror of our current society, and that's a good thing for many. What the fuck? What is he even saying there? What is he even saying there? Ooh, wait. What does that mean? What does that mean, Joe? I got no idea here. You got to help me with this. You got to help me with this, my man. When pressed later on why Jersey Flyer is moving forward with Johnson steering the program, we get some clues to the financial upside. Labor of love. Don't make a penny. Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Hammer 89 said, you have more faith than I do in a man who has taken out loans at multiple banks without paying a dime back, resulting in him losing his possessions to pay towards the debt with more lawsuits still pending. Surely this time he's doing it right. Jersey Flyer responds, I'm a risk taker, especially when I feel I have absolutely nothing to lose. In this case, the rewards far outweigh the risk. Jeez, man. You literally are laying out there your entire motive. I mean, if there's a detective or someone investigating this, which assuredly we know now that the governor of Ohio has stated that they are launching an investigation into this very matter, well, they got a paper trail to start with. I know that much. And, hey, like you said, if it's a labor of love, you got nothing to worry about. Nothing. This is all just online banter, right? Say more about that? All right, let's see this one. Hammer 89 said, I have also met Roy Johnson face to face, and he just lied the entire time. So I'm skeptical. Fair enough. Fair enough. Time will tell. Like I previously posted, I'm currently 3/4 in similar situations. What? And I'm not afraid if my batting average drops to 600. I have way more to gain than lose. What? You have way more to gain than lose, so I thought it was a labor of love. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Labor of love, but I have way more to gain than to lose. Well, you didn't really have anything to gain if you were just doing it out of the goodness of your heart, like you said, correct? Okay, let's keep going. Because this thing keeps going and going, because you clearly you like to see, you like to respond, you like to debate, you like to argue. Well, sometimes you say some shit you don't need to say, especially when it comes to things that may be bordering on the gray area of legal and illegal. So let's continue. Oh, so you've done this before and you make a lot of money doing it. Any chance you can share more about that? Something tells me he will. Something tells me he will. There's going to be 100 tabs open by the end of this. Hammer 89 said, lol, all right. That's all well and good. I'm just saying, when you have a dude like that running your program, no one will believe a single thing anyone says about them. That's why no one here has anything nice to say about them, and why everything anyone says in their defense will be met with a ton of skepticism. If he wasn't around, different story. Jersey Flyer. I'm obviously a risk taker, especially when I feel I have absolutely nothing to lose. I've taken similar risks in the past with fledgling programs like St. Francis MD, Life Christian VA, and USA Academy AL, which was another fake team, USA Academy. I'm batting .667 right now. I mean, baseball analogies? But why? Why? Why do we need baseball analogies? Why? I don't get that. I don't get that. Okay. What happened with that one miss? I gotta know. I gotta know. Let me close a few of these because this thing is starting to get long. We're starting to get long in the tooth on this. Man, receipts everywhere. I suppose you only asked the question because you know he didn't actually play for Garden City Community College when the 2020 season was postponed. Not because you don't know his name. You certainly know him because he is one of the many young men you screwed over last year with your USA Academy scam, who had to scramble to find somewhere else to play. Yes, his intention was to play JUCO football last year, and now a year later, he will be playing against high school kids. Are you going to screw him over again when this scam falls apart? Jersey Flyer. To the contrary, all 12 seniors' careers were saved by yours truly and Kenyatta Watson after that debacle. Each baller was placed into a better situation. In the end, I wiped USAA off the map as quick as I put them on it. That's the power of PGL. Holy, this dude is do we call that arrogance? Do we call that hubris? What's going on here? So he's saying essentially that he is the guy behind the curtain. That is what he's saying here in this thread, as far as I can tell. You know, I don't claim to be able to absolutely confirm that this is him, but I got put on to some things by other people like Your Nathan Tree, that he has a number of different accounts. There's another account that is the Garden State Baller? Garden State Baller is also him, which is on this same website on yappy.com. So he is, he said it was a one-man operation. Guess he wasn't lying. He just got multiple accounts to run it with. Always good to pat yourself on the back for administering first aid to someone you stabbed. Anyway, what is the PGL business model? Let's take a look. Y28 said, a minute ago you claimed you brought Hoban 2 options to play week 1. Now you're claiming the teams already had a contract and you just handled the streaming. Not a good look for your credibility. Now, I will say this. In my conversation with Joe Mamone, in the beginning of our conversation, when I asked him about what is the financial, where does the financial comeuppance, where is that at in this whole thing? When it was him talking about a game that he had set up with a different school, he said that was between him and the school. That's what he said. Now, he walked that back a couple of times saying, oh, this is a labor of love. I'm not involved in those conversations, but I am the guy who's setting it all up. So there can be no setting up of a football matchup where you are the one who is facilitating these teams to connect together without there have obviously been communications about financial compensation. That just doesn't, that's just how things work when you talk about someone who is brokering a connection between two parties. You literally speak about the finances and the financial situation henceforth. Once you get to that point in talking, that is what happens. There is no, okay, you guys can take it from here. I'm going to go back home. I got another job I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's what pays my bills. I'm just doing this out of a labor of love. So don't worry about it. We keep moving. No, that does not happen. That does not happen. That is not how being a middleman works. That's not how it has ever worked. That is not how this entire situation can be brought together. There has to be talk on the financial end. There always is. Okay, so he kind of went through the same pattern when I pressed and ran around, in little circles trying to get him to just reveal more because he wanted to talk more about himself. He wanted to talk up his program, talk up his company. And I let him do that. I let him talk. And the only thing I did was ask questions and try to press for him to talk more, and he kept talking. And there were definitely contradictions in what he was saying from the beginning of the conversation to the very end of the conversation. If you want to see those contradictions, go check out the video. It is the part 2 of the Bishop Sycamore big scam video that I put up just yesterday. So check that out, and you can see for yourself. It's at the very beginning of part 2 where me and him start talking. So here we have his response. PGL does 2 things. 1, we're the #1 promoter of high school football games in the world. We're matchmakers. We bring hundreds of teams together based on their open dates. 2, PGL streams select high school football games along with its corporate partner, Flow Sports. Our 2021 broadcast schedule consists of 30 awesome games featuring the biggest brands in the game. See attached to learn more. Selling himself. Not every game we set up ends up on Flow, and not every game on Flow originates with us. And 80 to 85% of those streaming revenues we generate flow back to our member clients. Hope this helps. To learn more, feel free to visit prepgridironlogistics.com. Boom. There's the number. There it is. Right there for our very eyes to see. You told me not a dime. You told me not a dime, Joe. When I said, what about our guys? What about our exposure? You said you don't make a dime. Says here, 80 to 85% of streaming revenues we generate flow back to our member clients. So there's 15 to 20% that does not go to your member clients, that does not go to the schools. So who gets that 15 to 20%, Joe? Who gets that? It's streaming revenue. It's what I said at the very beginning once I got off the phone with you. It's the streaming revenue. It's the licensing. That's where the money's made. That's the only way you can do this and not take money from the schools directly. Or else you don't have a business model that works. It can't work because you won't make no money. So you'd just be wasting your time for a labor of love. Well, this is America, my friend. Ain't no such thing as a labor of love without them dollars, son. No such thing. Next up. Can you spell it out for us a bit more? I see you, Ben. I see you. I see what you're doing there. Can you spell it out for us just a little bit more? Buckeye88 said, only the home team gets streaming money. You said it is up to them if they give some to the other team. You said you negotiated a deal where Bishop Sycamore gets $3,000, but that would come from Hoban. Your words. Let me spell it out for you. Flow pays PGL. PGL pays host school. Host school, if they desire, pays visiting school to assist with its travel expenses. It's not rocket science. So you get paid by Flow Sports, which is exactly what the fuck that's exactly what the fuck I said happened. That's exactly what the fuck I said happened. That's exactly what the fuck I said happens. I said it on Monday. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because how you going to fly out to come see me at Stephen F. Austin High School? How you going to do that? Who going to pay for all that? Flow Sports going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Let's keep it going. Matter of fact, let me take a quick break here to take a look at what you guys are talking about in the chat, because I see you guys have made some comments here. Remember, if you'd like me to speak directly, drop that super chat and I will do just that, baby. Let's see here. Saint Note, welcome. Saint here by Tree, by Urinating Tree. Tree, what up, man? Shout out to Urinating Tree. Good friend of mine. Dude is awesome. I'm sure most of you all know him and are subscribed to his channel. If not, make sure you do so. All right, let's continue on here. Let's continue on. Okay. Explain it to me like I'm a really shady person who actually wants to replicate what you're doing because I have no morals. Okay, Ben is going in on him. He's going in on him. Okay, well let's see if he says it like a shady person. Let's hear it. Buckeye88 said, probably just got a nice check from PGO for streaming rights during the Dog and a Pony show at the RAC. Lol. Garden State Baller. Oh, there he is. Garden State Baller. So he's got both his accounts in one thread. DB is still the AD and no HC left earlier this month. Plus, I got Bishop Sycamore an extra $3K in streaming rights for its game at Hoban. Hashtag raising the standard. Jersey Fire, in his response, says, let me educate you. First off, the home team owns all the streaming rights. For example, when Bishop Sycamore plays at Hoban on 8/19, Hoban is the only party receiving any streaming rights fees that evening. Additionally, when Hoban hosts Bergen Catholic New Jersey on 8/27, they're getting another check from us. Hoban can do whatever they like with those funds. Most use the monies to assist with the visiting team with their travel expenses. Since Bishop Sycamore has no home field, they'll be unable to generate any streaming revenues in 2021. Hope this helps. And yes, that is actually a similar statement that he made to me when I asked him about Stephen F. Austin High School. And he said, you make more money when you're the home team. So if you're the home team, you're going to get paid. Now, mind you, IMG, which played against Bishop Sycamore, was the away team. Bishop Sycamore was the home team for that game. So Bishop Sycamore got the revenues from the concessions. They got the revenues from the ticket sales. And they also got the streaming rights. And I'm almost certain they probably got a piece of the television rights because it was on ESPN. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving. So just to be clear, who holds the streaming rights to these games? I think we already know the answer to that, but he can spell it out for us one more time. Buckeye88 said, oh, yes, it is. You're promoting them. You're contracting the games. You're responsible if the kids get hurt playing versus an adult that shouldn't be on the field per NFHS rule guidelines. Just like any promoter that puts on a multi-team high school event, it's their job to verify the legitimacy of the teams participating and that they are all playing by the same rules. It even says that in NFHS sanctioning, in the NFHS sanctioning application for such an event. Liability is starting to slide down his way. That's a red flag for him. I mean, that's got to be a red flag for him. Shit. Liability is sliding your way. ESPN's over there like, yeah, that, what he said. You know what I mean? Shoot. His response, you do realize that the game contract originates from the host team. My contract is only for streaming rights. Hope this helps. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, we keep going. And how much are these travel expenses that would go to Bishop Sycamore, who has stiffed numerous travel companies? Oh, whoops. Oh, okay, good. I didn't get that. I don't think that this is a, okay, yeah. Open image and new tab, boom. Okay, bingo. BHS Bearcat said, bingo. The teams that play pay big bucks for games. Massillon pays teams a couple of grand to come play there. Jersey Flyers reaction. Cedar Grove GA was provided a $32,000 stipend to travel to Colorado to play Valor Christian in 2019. Didn't you say it was only like 4 figures? It was a 4 figures deal. It was like 3, 4, 5,000. Now we saw Bishop Sycamore got 3,000 earlier in the post, but this one here is saying 32,000. Where'd they get that from? Who gave them that? Joe? We move on. Okay. Ooh. And how much money could this whole Flow Sports deal be worth? The press release said the following. PGL is extremely excited and honored to be making high school football history with our new corporate partner, Flow Sports, said Joe Mamone, managing member of Prep Gridiron Logistics. Over the next 4 years, PGL will be infusing a minimum of $500,000 into the game of high school football. You know, it's funny. When you're looking at the bigger picture of this, when you look at it from a big picture perspective, That ain't shit. That's nothing. It's really nothing. That's enough money to sustain a high school football program for an entire year, I would think, for an entire season on the low end. But you're going to be infusing, as the sole individual of PGL, the man working through a labor of love, a hobby, one could say. You're willing to do away with $500,000 as part of your labor of love. Do you honestly think that anybody who does any kind of real business is going to believe that? That doesn't make any sense. You expect no return? You expect no return on your investment? Not even 5%? That doesn't make sense. That is literally hustling backwards. And if you present that to somebody who understands business, and I understand business, that would be a bad deal in my eyes, with no real way of knowing how much money I would be getting back. I would never work with you on that. I would never do it. But let's continue here, because he has a post to go along with this. And again, that was the press release, have you? That was the press release that he gave. So, here we see, Jersey Flyer says, little bit bigger number here. Jersey Flyer said PGL will be paying out between $700,000 and $1.5 million in streaming right fees to high school football teams over the next 4 seasons, whereas in the press release it only said $500,000. The teams need the money way more than I do. I always put others first. It's the Christian way. Yeah, it's the Christian way. Oh, okay. I see the grift now. Of course PGL won't be keeping any of that. Of course not. Wink, wink. I'm not great with winks. The amount keeps going up. First it was $500K, then $1 million. Now it's up to $1.5 million. Where is the money coming from? Subscriptions? Good luck. What is this dude doing? What is this guy doing? I mean, he's got to be blowing smoke, right? Like, nobody really puts their ass out there like that and starts dropping money figures on things that haven't been signed on the dotted line yet, right? Like, nobody does that, right? Let's continue. What we seem to reasonably be able to discern at this point between these statements and the stated press release is that there's some type of revenue sharing based on subscriptions to Flow Sports that are sold for these games. Throughout this discussion, Jersey Flyer puts in Flow Sports link. Now, I remember one of you guys who was very aware in the chat yesterday, who did a little bit of pushing themselves. On Monday. It did not go unnoticed that you made a comment, and I can't remember exactly who it was, that the subscription fee for Flow Sports is $150 a year. So, let's do a little math, because he did say he had what? How many accounts did he say he had on Monday? I think he said he had over 300. So let's just start with 300. So we go 150 times 300. Well, that's $45,000. So if there's $45,000 in revenues from 300 schools at a minimum on a yearly basis, he would probably be advanced, from what I saw, anywhere from 15 to 20% of that. So So he would be getting about $9,000 off of that just himself. Just himself. Yeah, some change. You know, you can blow half of that at the strip club, half of it, you know, something else. But there is revenue here for him. There is money in this, and that's the point. That's where I am looking at everything that he told me when I spoke to him on the phone. And it never added up because it just does not make sense that you can do this with no kind of financial backing, no kind of financial investment. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe that you can make something happen for Stephen F. Austin High School in the same manner that you made it happen for Bishop Sycamore. Well, why would Bishop Sycamore enter into an agreement like that unless maybe they were privy to a little bit more information in regards to how the scam operates so that they can get theirs as well? Because as we all know, Roy Johnson, as we will see here soon, that dude understands the scamming game like nobody else. He's been doing it for quite a while. But let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. We got another link here. Let's open this up. Jaws 31 said, the site isn't updated. 21 to 22 lists isn't updated. So the year 2021 and 2022 lists. The roster isn't finalized. See the theme here? The place is bogus. You and they are scamming everyone. It is a semi-pro club team posing as a school, plain and simple. Okay, so Jersey Flyers response. I don't live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm trying my best to educate you from NYC. New Jersey, not NYC. New Jersey. There's only so much I can do. The best thing you can do to curb your curiosity is to tune in next Thursday night. See below. Flowfootball.com. 2021 Bishop Sycamore versus Archbishop Holborn. He has a link there for that game. I mean, hey, he's selling it like a motherfucker. I'll give him that. I will give him that. He is selling the shit out of this. The various message board posters didn't seem interested in buying a sub. And I'll try. Let's go through this one. Guys, buckle in and just bear with me on this now because we got, I mean, I'm just, you know, just, we got a ways to go now. We got a ways to go now, but we're going to get there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right. Jersey Flyer, we saw what he said. He posted the link. This is Jaws 31 responding. Do you honestly think you have done or said anything on this forum that would make any of us buy the game? You have done more harm than good. You're just too stupid to see it. Everyone that is reading this is more skeptical of the place than they were before, and that is almost impossible. Almost. Let's continue on. But maybe nonetheless, this is working. Oops. Oh, there we go. Buckeye 88 said, impossible as long as I am not you, I win. Jersey Flyer responds, 6 years ago, I started a hobby of setting up high school football games for a few teams in New Jersey. Today, with 250 plus clients, the same hobby is now forecast to generate between $700,000 and $1.5 million over the next 4 years. Why else would you post hundreds of times on this thread? At least I make money when I do so. Who are you kidding? You crave to be a winner like me. I mean, how about just a pure arrogance here? I mean, my guy, you know, 95% of businesses go out of business within the first 6 months of being open. You know, and that's people who are doing things legit. Scams may run for a while, but when they come crashing down, They crash all the way down. They burn out into ash and asunder across the land. And we've already seen the flames be lit on Sunday. So things are already on fire. It's just, have you realized that it's all crumbling down around you at this point? Flow Sports has already made their comment, and that's just the beginning of them backing away, because all it takes is somebody who's not a journalist who is reporting, and someone who is of a little bit higher authority and recognition to come knocking for them to completely back the fuck away. And at that point, it's too late. So, you gotta keep your P's and Q's. Let's step away from the specifics on the money for a minute. Message board posters were extremely vocal trying to prove Bishop Sycamore was a fraud, with a large part of that being that they used players that were not of high school age. They were also disputing how many players and teams Bishop Sycamore actually had, as well as the facilities the kids played and stayed in. Regarding the facilities, here's what Jersey Flyers said. Bishop Sycamore is part of the NFHS-approved TCAL 6A National Division. Check out the link below to learn more. The school is situated in the eastern section of Columbus. There are 2 structures comprised of living quarters, classrooms, a weight room, and 3 indoor practice facilities. Shit. Oh my goodness. Seriously? Is this what he's going with? Is this what he's going with? And you've actually seen this? Let's see here. Haha, so says the Jersey liar. Do you have any proof of this absurd claim? I visited a few weeks ago and observed everything I'm claiming. Who you put yourself in their actual presence. You actually put that on a screen to say I was there. I mean, I ain't gonna have no problem placing you there if it comes down to anything with the police. Gotta be careful, my friend, because now they can already put you at the scene. They can put you at the scene, brother. Whew. Okay, let's see here. Here's another crap. Close that one. Here's another claim by Jersey Flyer. Do you realize that people might be lying to you? Roy Johnson told the OHSAA he had 750 students and didn't recruit. People lie sometimes. Jersey Flyer responds, I personally visited the Sycamore facilities at Easton about 3 weeks ago. I met with the coaches, AD, their landlord, etc. I have full faith that what they're doing is kosher and on the up and up. If not, they have more to lose than I. Depends on whether or not it can be proven that you knew that they weren't on the up and up. If you did know they weren't on the up and up, that's called being complicit. If you didn't know, which is something, honestly, not easy to prove, whether you did or didn't, but that's where money trails come in. And money trails can lead to the ability to assume what your intent was, because that's where motive lies, in things like money, benefits. See how this all connects? This is what we call deductive reasoning. This one is one of my favorites. Oh, we got to see this then. Here we go. Pull it up. Close out some of these. Is it fair to call it the Bishop Sycamore complex when they're just renting the space? I don't rent a hotel room, then call it my house. Home is not a place, it's a feeling. Bishop Sycamore High School is not renting out the Resolute Athletic Complex. They might say they are, but they are not. Jersey Flyer says, yes, they are. I met and spoke with the owner during my visit. They are the largest tenant. A match made in heaven for now. Oh, shit. You can't do it just to own these. You can't be making up shit just to own these guys. I mean, come on, bruh. Oh, I want to see what this campus looks like. I know he had to put pictures up here. He had to. How many players are there at these awesome facilities? Holy crap. This guy is like, I mean, he's just making it up on the go. Like, he's mad or something. He's got to be mad. He's just mad and responding to counter everything that these guys are saying, because he is literally like incriminating himself repeatedly as to his knowledge about where they are and what they're doing. And if there's not paperwork to back this up, you're lying. I mean, I guess you could call it circumstantial, but all they got to do is know that you knew that these cats were frauding or were scamming, and that's it. That's all they need to do. That's all they need to know. If Bishop just played a post-grad schedule, no one would care. But playing against high school kids in their first to fourth year of high school, and we lost, let me zoom out a little bit here. Maybe I'm missing just a tad bit. Okay. When your roster is 95% or more made up with fifth or sixth year guys is pretty lame. Even worse that they have lost more than they have won the first 4 years of COF/Bishop, losing high school games with a roster full of grown men. Yeah, that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. With over 100 plus players on the current roster, I recently recommended to the powers that be at Bishop Sycamore should field two teams, a varsity team and a national team. I'll keep you posted on my progress, as this would quiet most of the critics, as you stated above. Okay. Kind of sounds like you want to be IMG, no? Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. BHS Bearcat said, there is no pipeline. Roy Johnson has had COF Bishop going on 5 years, and nobody from there has went to OSU. Shoot, nobody has even went D1, or it would have been posted on here by Jersey Flyer or whatever the screen name Roy Johnson or Andre Peterson feels like using at the moment. Those were the lean years. 2021 is a different animal. 100 plus players currently on the roster from all over the USA are now calling Columbus home. Stay tuned. IMG North. Hashtag IMG North. Man, the balls on this guy. The balls on this guy. I mean, he really was being an internet hero right now. Like an internet, just straight thugging it on the internet. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Is the schedule as good as IMG? The opportunity of a lifetime would be to make sure that they get an education that they should, so that they're capable of attaining whatever goals they may have. Shills like yourself tell them that playing on ESPN is their dream, when in reality it's just to line their pockets. And stop saying HSFB. That roster is not high school. They're all getting beautiful, worthwhile, NCAA approved online educations at this time. Thanks to COVID, expect much more of this around the nation going forward. Hasn't happened. Has not happened. Has not happened at all. Has not happened at all. And how essential are you to all of this? That's great. That is a paramount question to this entire situation. Even if someone wanted to try and believe in Roy Johnson, you make it impossible. You're like the worst spokesperson ever. I assembled the 4th toughest high school football schedule in all of America for him and got him an in-depth interview with one of the top personalities in all of high school football. Without me, none of this would be possible. He tells me every day, in those moments, we'll keep the fire lit as long as I live. Mic drop. Mic drop. This is crazy. This is actually pretty ludicrous. This is pretty self-absorbed. I mean, as far as I can tell, just my honest opinion. This guy is completely self-absorbed. He's riding his own dick, and there's really no need for it. If you have a product that is truly legitimate, if you have a product that is truly what you say it is, you don't need to talk about it. It presents that for itself. And from everything that we've seen, again, they played on Sunday against IMG. If that is the product that you are claiming is of your own making, I mean, shit, Costa Rica's not that far away if you want to jump on a flight. I don't know how their extradition process is, but hey, you taking this all on yourself, that could backfire catastrophically. Next up. Let me close out a few of these tabs. This is really wild, but we got to go through these because honestly, like this really fills in a lot of the questions about how all of this stuff came together. And honestly, I didn't think initially I did not think that PGL was necessarily involved with Bishop Sycamore on the level of actual like a day-to-day operation, or even if it was a matter of scheduling, you know, this Bishop Sycamore with other high schools. I didn't necessarily think that it was, you know, with the intent or with the knowledge that this was a fucking faux high school. I initially saw this as maybe he got finessed. Maybe PGL got finessed by this, by Bishop Sycamore, because that would make sense that they maybe lied to him because, you know, he can't go and see what they're doing because this is out of a labor of love. And he ain't going to be able to just fly back and forth from Jersey to Ohio week in and week out to check up on their progress. Why would he care? He already set them up. He already connected the teams, scheduled the game, put it with his Flow Sports, and that was that. Why would you give a damn about anything else that happens at that point? Why would it matter to you unless there was an investment made? Why would it matter to you unless there was a promise of some kind of return on said investment? Why would it matter whether or not they were real or fake? Why would you promote them? Why would you argue with people on a message board if you literally have nothing to do with anything outside of just simple scheduling of these schools? That does not make sense. And now, going through this forum, we see there is something that is purely invested from PGL that they have to get their return on, or they're expecting to make revenue off of. So when you connect that dot and then you connect Flow Sports into it, and you see that there's 15 to 20% of the streaming revenues that goes to PGL directly, well, full circle is damn near here. And that means that you had to know that there was more to the story with Bishop Sycamore than met the eye. Because if you've been there, then you had conversations. And I'm sure conversations were not just solely about high school football. Because as grown men, businessmen, well, scammers, but in general, businessmen, when you get together and you're working a deal to do business together, the money is the objective. That is the final objective. So all this is hogwash that you would be promoting this and know that you're not getting a single dime, that you're using all your resources and your time and you're not getting a dime. It's just not feasible. So this is important to see all this information and to actually be able to paint the rest of the picture, because we only had a very small portion of this picture painted when we saw all of this stuff initially break into the mainstream on Sunday. Very small portion of the picture. And now, them brush strokes, like Bob Ross, we're going to make some pretty trees here. We see the money trees now, friend. We see that. Money trees are here. All right. I digress. Let's get back. So you think Bishop Sycamore is a power private that plays a national schedule? Someone should tell Ryan Day about this. Surely he is missing something in his efforts to recruit the best classes nationally. Surely Bishop Sycamore's student athletes will give Ohio State the edge over Clemson and Bama, because Bishop Sycamore clearly has something that Archbishop Hoban does not. Jersey Flyers response. Coach Day and the OSU staff are very close with the Sycamore admin. Oh my God. Liar! So he has now brought Ohio State into this. Is this dude out of his freaking mind? You brought Ohio State into this? Oh my goodness. I gotta let that process for a moment. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about? I mean, this is ridiculous. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay. Jersey Dolphins says, "Hey Uche, I watched some of that game, and those coaches almost went fisticuffs on the sideline, and the cam hurried and panned away. So they're about to fight each other in there. Damn. Wow. This dude brought Ohio State. He name dropping Ohio State. All right. Coach Day and the OSU staff are very close with the Sycamore admin. Remember, there are strong ties between the leader of Bishop Sycamore and Coach Tressel. Plus, the Bishop Sycamore High School played at OSU way back when. Or the Bishop Sycamore head coach played at OSU way back when. Trust me, Coach Day is well aware of all the 4 to 5 star ballers on the team. Holy fucking shit. This guy is delusional. I didn't see a 1 star on that team. You know what? I'll give the quarterback that got hurt, I'll give him a 1 star. Maybe 2. He actually got he got the only first down that I saw them get against IMG. So, take that for what you will. I'm actually hearing that a few national recruits that are high on OSU's list are contemplating moving to Columbus to play for Sycamore to show OSU how interested they are in becoming Buckeyes. Oh, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, my God. Is this guy out of his freaking mind? Oh. This dude is capping. This is all cap. Pure cap. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh. This is cap to this is level 50 capping. Oh crap. But even in the podcast, Coach Roy Johnson paints a very different picture. We rent space from different places and just try to survive every day. I actually heard this podcast. I listened to it. I believe I listened to it last night. Roy Johnson's description of their situation, much different than what old Jersey, what was his name? Jersey something is saying on here. We rent space from different places and just try to survive every day. Roy Johnson. Oh, so they don't have so they don't have actual classrooms, like all of us said. Thank you so much for this podcast. Whether it's a park here or a field there or an indoor facility that sometimes we rent, when it gets a little bit colder and rainy and dark, we'll be in there. Roy Johnson. So they have 110 plus athletes, but rely on public parks? Got it. This dude's being exposed. That's because he can't lie because of his faith. Jersey Flyer says here, I know your type. You will pile one lie on top of another lie until the poop pile crumbles. I have seen your act before. Jersey Flyer's response, I'm a devout Christian. I never lie, honestly. But despite the inability to lie, a lot of discrepancies were pointed out regarding roster size, quality of the roster, and the age of the players. Jacob Lemming on Twitter said, any under-the-radar 2022s I need to watch as we head into fall camp? Prep Gridiron Logistic response. At Bishop Football currently has 27 D1 recruits on its 2021 roster. 40 in total that should play football at the next level. My guy, what are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you saying these things? This is ridiculous. Bishop Sycamore has more than one team. They have over 100 players participating in its program. Wow, this dude's tripping. Says here, Just Here said, the national team shouldn't be having adults on it either. Totally agree, and that's not happening. Our next post. Jersey Flyer said, the document is official no matter what you think or say. Don't be naive. There are plenty of postgraduate high school football teams around the country with 22 to 23-year-old ballers on them. What? Like I said, that might be the truest thing that he has said in this entire conversation thread. This might be the truest thing that he said. I believe this because I believe that the culture that is being built around this, I guess you could call AAU style high school football, is that these guys are going to do whatever they can to get the most prospects, to get the biggest number of potential Division I athletes. Even if that means changing birthdays and having older players play as high school players. I believe that. I believe that can happen because it happens in every other major sport, especially ones that have a national and international reach. And you see it in baseball. You see it in soccer. You see it in basketball. And now, why would it would only make sense that you see it in football. It would only make sense. It would only make sense. The document, okay, hold on. There are plenty of postgraduate high school football teams around the country. What does that even mean? Postgraduate high school football teams? Postgraduate means you're not in high school no more. You've graduated. You're after graduating high school, which means you're done with high school, which means you are not a high school football player or a high school football team. There are plenty of postgraduate high school football teams around the country with 22 to 23-year-old ballers on them. You're just setting the tone with patented excuses if Bishop Sycamore somehow manages to win some games this season. Their looming successes are just eating at you, and I love seeing this. Can't wait until next Thursday night at 7 p.m. on Flow Sports. This shit is just shady as fuck. This shit is wrong. You can't be a postgraduate high school football team. Don't be idiotic. 300 comments ago, you were gullible but making sense. Now you're just scrambling because you can't defend the lies that at best you didn't know beforehand, but now you do. Be better, dude. Yeah, I mean, there's one, like I said, I felt like at some point when I was after talking with him yesterday, even though I didn't believe for a second the labor of love shit, I still kind of thought to myself, well, maybe this dude just got finessed because he bought into it. So he's gonna, until he is shown with absolute certainty that what he bought into is a fraud, it'll be hard for him to necessarily just disavow them because he is already so invested in this. He's already invested probably his money, his time, his connections. So now he's got to ride this out. He's got to. Only now, after the shit has hit the fan, ain't nowhere to ride to. Ain't nowhere to ride to. And he's in a very precarious situation because one wrong move, which if anybody of authority looks at these messages, they will at the very least come knocking at his door. At the very least. Now, again, I don't know because I ain't no lawyer. I don't know if I can't say for a fact whether he has actually committed any kind of crime. I don't want to put that on him just yet. But reading all this stuff gives me a lot of information to know that he knew something was up. He can't be that naive. Not with the kind of reputation that he says that he has for himself. You can't be because you've already seen all the scams and you already know how to see through that. So if you're not able to actually be aware enough to know that something is up, that's one thing, but that only lasts for so long. Ignorance is not innocence. So at a certain point, you knew that something was afoul. And that's when you should have started asking questions or back the fuck out and been like, hey, once I found out, I fucking washed my hands of them and I was done with it. And nobody's going to come after you for that. You can keep on doing what you're doing, trying to build up your resume with Flow Sports, and nobody's going to say a word. But again, if you're really thinking about it on a basic level, does a bank robber only rob the bank one time? Nah, they going multiple times. So it's easy enough to guesstimate that he's got other teams that are doing the same shit. They just got more money and they got smarter people doing it, so it's harder to fucking put your fingers on it. But like he said himself, Jersey Flyer, there are plenty of postgraduate high school football teams with 22 and 23-year-olds. So there are plenty of opportunities for this scam to be just rinsing and repeating, and we're not even aware of it yet. We're focused on Bishop Sycamore, but there's more out there that have been doing it maybe for years that are getting money off this in all kinds of ways. Coaches' pockets getting lined. You telling me high school football coaches ain't found a way to make some money? I mean, you see college football coaches making millions. Millions. You think high school football ain't took no bump in salaries? If they haven't, I guarantee you they getting it on the side. Because there ain't no world where a high school football coach's salary is going to you're going to be content with that as everyone else is getting more and more money. That don't happen. Okay, here we go. We got more. August 10th. Jaws 31, but the whole team is post-grad, so they've already been through school. You also keep referencing 26 D1s. It's very, very unlikely that 26 kids from this team will go play D1 football. Post-grad schools are filled with kids that are either non-qualifiers, kids that need to grow to mature physically and or athletically, or kids that don't get the offers they feel they deserve. Your first sentence is just not true. You're assuming, which is not very smart. If this school was a post-grad school, and that's a big if, why would all these nationally ranked blue blood high school football programs be scheduling them? Don't you think they've all done their due diligence? I can tell you that they all have. You're as far from the truth as can be. Now, how fucking bad has that statement aged in the last 48 hours? ESPN, Paragon, who is a professional marketing company, billion-dollar conglomerates didn't do their fucking due diligence. You mean to tell me that high school coaches will? Come on, man. Come on, man. I see some of the shit y'all are posting. It's hilarious. Postgrad programs are a thing. If you Google it, IMG has one. Postgraduate, look, look. Postgraduate, if you're talking like JUCO, okay, but why are they playing against high schools? How can you play 22-year-olds against 17, 16, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds? How is that even? That's not legal. That's not legal. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Holy shit. I mean, my guy. I'm trying not to bury this guy. I'm trying not to bury him and label him as just he's part of this. He's complicit in this shit, but it's getting harder. It's getting harder. Okay, next one up. Jersey Flyer said, your first sentence is just not true. Oh, that's what he said. Okay. His response. Really? Look, dude, hype them up all you want. Tell some tall stories, whatever, but don't come on here and insult our intelligence. We are all well aware of the players for them and for them that are post-grad, and no, I am not going to call any of them out by name. Just know that we know. Take your load of crap back to the cesspool forum you came from. Now they mad at him. Now they mad at him. Let me see what else we got here. Because if they're now just going back and forth and arguing, then maybe they're not so much talking more about what the breakdown of all this. Okay, it says the podcast confirms everything we've said. Bishop Sycamore is not a real school, confirmed on the podcast. They have multiple postgraduate players, confirmed on the podcast. They play those postgraduate players against high school teams, confirmed on the podcast. Yeah. Wow. No, he didn't just say this. Okay, Jersey Flyer says, unless you can produce their original birth certificates, that's just conjecture on your part. Wow. He's saying prove it. And to that, Red Hawk 85 replied, one of the players is 20 years and 10 months old. No, I don't have a birth certificate, but his date of birth is on his arrest records. Got him. Got him. Damn. Holy shucks. Woo. Okay. Let's see here. It's not just his job to check into these things, you see. So Just here said, okay, but have they completed 8 semesters of high school? Jersey Flyers response, not my job. That's for you to figure out. Oh, my God. What? BHS Bearcat says, you can easily look up rosters, and I'm from the city. I coached against the young men. Lol. Their age is no secret. One of their parents is also a coach and one of the founding partners of Bishop Sycamore. Go ask him the kid's age. Not my job. My role is purely scheduling based. This dude is full of shit. But he was over here talking about how he'd been to the facilities. He's checked everything out. It's all on the up and up. But your job is just solely scheduling based. Why would you need to do any of that then? Why would you care about any of that? Now you do. Now that it's been pointed out to you that what you're saying is a lie. Now it's all about just scheduling. Now that's it. Unless you can produce the original. Okay, we've done that. Uh-oh. Oh, what's happening here? Meanwhile, a desperate search for players. Oh, shit. Whoa. Look, he's Bishop Sycamore. DM us, DM me, DM us, DM us, DM us. They're hitting up all these different players. All these different players. Look at this. All of these different players are hitting up. So why are schools scheduling Bishop Sycamore? This is crazy. This is 23 hours ago. Oh no, this is August 12th and then 23 hours ago. So he's already trying to get new players. Shit. Nobody's coming. Are you calling, Jersey Fire says, this is when he's talked about, are you calling all these schools sleazy and shady too? Aren't they associated with Bishop Sycamore because they scheduled them? And BH Bearcat says, no. Teams like them are always trying to fill their schedule. That happens all over the country with the top teams. Local won't play them if they don't have to. Some examples in Ohio are schools like Pick Central and St. Edwards. During non-league, they almost always play at least one out-of-state opponent to fill their schedule. Those teams mentioned above were trying to fill their schedule. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, and we've seen that one. Let me see here. Seen. Powerhouse programs claim that. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm just looking through some of these because we might have already went through some of these already. Some of these are repeats. Okay, so Hammer 89 seems to have a very, very, very nuanced understanding of how the rules of this stuff works. Because when Jersey Flyer asks about due diligence and says that he can tell you that all of these teams have done due diligence and that you're as far from the truth as possible, Hammer 89 responds by saying, no, they don't, and that's not uncommon. COF Academy scheduled powerhouse programs by claiming they had 750 boys in school and would be D1 rated by the OHSAA. No one called the OHSAA. No one checked. Everyone just bought it. So no, we don't trust these exact same schools. We don't trust these exact same schools did any due diligence this time around, nor do we trust whatever Bishop Sycamore is selling them, because most of the adults involved are the same people from before. Hammer 89 also said, I've worked for ESPN. I can assure you they do not, in regard to saying they do not do their due diligence, which we know that to be true because Bishop Sycamore was on national TV on Sunday. So we know they don't do their due diligence. We know that. That is actually true. So there is just so much stacked against what Jersey Flyer, a.k.a. Joe Mamone, is saying here. Paragon Marketing is the high school football arm of ESPN. I can assure you that they're a first-class operation that know a great game when they see one. Hence, why they're airing IMG at Sycamore from Canton on 8/29. Oh my God! Little did they know. Oh shoot! Uh, this guy says, sure they do. COF Academy scheduled IMG2. People fall for scams all the time. Jersey Flyers response. You don't think ESPN has a system of checks and balances to prevent such? No, they don't. We know that. That's a fact. We know they don't. We know they don't. Oh, my goodness. ESPN apparently too woke to cancel the game. Okay, let's see what this one says. We're close to the end here. We're getting close. I almost took that last chat right there seriously. Almost. Okay. Okay. Hammer 89 said, yikes. Imagine if someone sent this publicity available court information. Yikes. Imagine if someone sent this publicly available court information showing that Roy Johnson, head coach of Bishop Sycamore, has an outstanding warrant to ESPN or Hobart or any number of places. Just imagine. This post could be the dumbest of the week, says Jersey Flyer. ESPN is the most woke company in America thanks to personalities like Stephen A. Smith and Jamel Hill. You actually think they're going to take down the African-American head coach of a predominantly African-American high school football team? CNN will turn on Biden before that ever happens. He done went into politics. All right, well, we see where he stands with his whole perspective on things. Not going to judge him on that. Not going to judge him on that at all. But he did kind of pivot around to use that as something to try and defend himself, which shows me that you've kind of run out of space to move. Okay. Are the schools informed? Were we confirmed they were in earlier reporting? Ooh, excuse me. Is there any contract with schools that isn't on the up and up? Okay, so these are more things that we've already kind of went through. Let's see here. Contracts, talking about contracts and things like that. Let's see. Ultimately, Yappy.com posters were unable to reason this disaster of a season from happening. The Hoban game happened and was a blowout that was later ruled a scrimmage. So they already pulled one of those games back to make it a scrimmage, so it doesn't count. Flow Sports would later remove the archive from the game. In the week after that, Bishop Sycamore played 2 games in 3 days, with the second being on ESPN, with multiple injuries occurring. Bishop Sycamore didn't have any away uniforms, enough helmets, nor enough linemen in any of the games. It was all expected. Ho. Here we go. I played. This is a tweet from a @Daemane, Daemanee, replying. He says, I played for Bishop Sycamore last year. The program was a joke. Kids didn't go to school, and more than 70% of our team was graduates and 19 years old. They fed all these players in. By making all these promises and letting us stay at the Griff, which would have been the hotel. Despite bold claims, oh Lordy, here we go. Here's famous last words right here. Buckeye88 said, yeah, okay, clown. The whole conversation was your claim all these teams on your contracts are NFHS affiliated. I proved they're not. You can try to spin stuff all you want. Everyone sees that you are the lying liar. Jersey Flyer in response. I can't be beat, and I always win. #PGL. Mic drop. This dude is a fucking clown. This is not a good look. This is not a good look for this cat. And here we are. This is at the bottom of this. Let's see. Says here, Hammer89 says, thank goodness we live in a society that gives people second and third chances. It's truly what makes America a great place to live and conduct business in. I hope you don't disappear when the season starts, either to gloat or eat crow. I'm looking forward to either result. Jersey Flyers response, I fear no one. I'm not going anywhere. Jersey Flyer disappeared from the board shortly after the Hoban game. If only IMG, ESPN, Paragon Marketing, Hoban, and so many others would have just listened to the collective wisdom of the yappy.com community. And I believe that is the end of the article. Now, just one more note I want to add to this before we wrap this thing up. Roy Johnson is involved in a number of different things that are considered to be very shady, one of which I have been alerted to is this here. Roy Johnson, who also uses the alias Leroy Johnson, is a registered home health care nurse in Columbus, Ohio. Now, if you go through, and this is something that Urinating Tree put me onto, and he did the due diligence behind this to kind of match up. He matched up the addresses. This guy used the same addresses as he used for Bishop Sycamore, and this is unfortunate because now this is fucking with people's lives. I think that this needs to be presented to the correct authorities in regards to this man, because he is now running an insurance fraud scam. What is all this? Oh, sorry. eBay. He's got some eBay shit on here. I don't know. Oh, did I just? Oh, damn it. Ah. Oh. Hold on. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Why was that shit up there? Anyways. Okay, so, again, about Leroy Johnson. Leroy Johnson is a provider established in Columbus, Ohio, and his medical specialization is registered nurse. The NPI number of Leroy Johnson is 1-831-540830. Was assigned in June 2016. If anybody would like, anybody who's in that area, anybody who's in Ohio would like to actually potentially help out a little bit, I would recommend taking this information and at the very least dropping it off at a county commissioner's office and saying, hey, this guy is suspected of being involved in some potentially fraudulent insurance fraud. Now, I don't have all the details in regard to this. Urinating Tree got me this info, but if you check out the video that he is going to be dropping soon about this, it will expand on exactly what is going on here in a more orderly fashion than I can give it to you, because I don't really have much more to go on than just this. But this is some real fuckery going on here. Real fuckery. And for everyone involved, there's blame to be assigned. But for the true violators, in my opinion, this guy is at the top of that tree. And he's followed, I feel like at this point, in a close second by this whole entire situation with PGL and Flow Sports. I don't know what these guys claim to know or not know about the situation with Bishop Sycamore other than what we've read, but their common sense tells you that they're not giving the full story. Common sense tells you that. So, with all that being said, let me take a look at the chat here. Road Rager for $9.99. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. He says, consider this my investment. Consider this my investment in your school. Thanks for bringing this scam to light. Good stuff, Mr. Dexter Charles. Yeah, Dexter Charles here. Just wanted to talk to you about potentially getting some exposure for my guys, for my kids, for my boys. But no, you guys have been great. That is going to do it for me on the Lineman Life live stream. You guys have been a great audience. You've buckled in. You've listened to the info. You guys have kept up with me. I do very much appreciate that. I will be clipping up parts of this and getting it onto the channel as uploads for tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell notification so you are notified of that as well. Again, this is still a developing story. So there will be more information, I'm sure, that will come out. And with the state of Ohio actually opening an investigation into this, I'm sure that we will be hearing about some potential legal ramifications as we make our way through this unbelievable, just stupendously unbelievable saga. What started off as a little bit of a meme has blown up into a serious issue and really brings into question a ton of things about high school football recruiting, high school football, and its kind of evolution into this sort of AAU system. There could be a lot of things going on that we just don't know about that aren't really playing by the rules and are giving some of these high school teams advantages that maybe they did not get legitimately. So that'll be something for us all to keep an eye on, but that is going to be it for me here. I appreciate you guys very much. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so on the stream. But I am your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and I will catch you all on the next one.